Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the 100th edition of That's a Shoot. And when you know it, it is our WrestleMania 37 Night 1 and Night 2 predictions episode. Oh, what a joyous time. 100 episodes of That's a Shoot. It's really, really fun. Um, I might be taking off next Friday. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It all depends on what goes down over the next week in the world of wrestling. If there's nothing big or nothing anything like that, then there probably won't be a show next Friday. And we'll come back on the 19th, the 20, it'll be the 23rd, yeah, the 23rd. Come back on the 23rd. And with the next year, with the new Dodgers shoot. But if there's some happening at this week that's to be talked about, anything like that, then yeah, we'll do that shoot next week. And speaking of that to shoot, um, that to shoot has gone through a bunch of changes over the past year and change. With all of the things going on and everything like that. This was a thing where I would talk about what happened during the week in wrestling, um, Raw and NXT and SmackDown, things like that, and then we would try to talk about that, give you my pros and cons of each show if they had it or if they didn't, something like that or anything like that. And and lately it's just been just the, talking about the stories of the week, recapping the stories of the week, basically a weekend review, so to speak, of what happened in the world of wrestling. And I think, I think that's with the with the changes going on with everything NXT moving out of Tuesdays and AEW still gonna stay on Wednesdays, SmackDown still gonna be on Fridays and things like that. I think I think there is maybe a chance to be redoing that review. But the only difference is just that I would be doing reviewing last week's SmackDown because I'm not gonna move it to Saturdays. I'm not gonna move it to Saturdays. At least not right now. I may move it to Saturdays in the future when I know I can you know I can get up and do it and talk about it. I might move it back to Saturdays, but otherwise I think right now I'm gonna keep it on Fridays. So then you talking about last week's SmackDown and then the current week's Raw, AEW, and NXT. And then the thing is that I don't even know if I'm going to be watching NXT and AEW that much anymore because now with Tuesday nights are already filled up with like the Flash and all of these other shows. So I'm probably gonna record both of them, record AEW and record um, NXT, and then just try to catch up on them at another time or something like that. Maybe later on in the evening or something like that. Just fast forward through them and just to see. The thing. I apologize if I keep yawning. I'm very, very tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so. So with that being said, I better just stop talking, and I'll keep you updated to what's gonna happen with that shoot and everything going on with the show. I'll keep you updated with that. So let's just go ahead and let's get right into the predicting. Let's start with night one, and we're gonna start with the tag team turmoil match that was just made. Lana, Naomi, Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose, the Riot Squad, Natalya and Tamina, And there was some stuff that they put out there that some things may go down tonight that may involve Carmella and Billie Kay or Carmella and Bayley or who knows. I'm not necessarily sure, but no matter who it is, uh, although you would think if they did add Carmella and Billie Kay or Carmella and Bayley at the end, you would think that would give them a maybe a thing. But I really do think they've been pulling on this Natalya and Tamina thing, and I don't know. They were giving them a lot of wins. They haven't been giving Lana Naomi and Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose too many wins over on Raw. Riot Squad hasn't even been on TV the past several weeks, so I'm not sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pick Natalya and Tamina to win the tag team turmoil match. The Raw tag team titles on the line on the New Day takes on AJ Styles and Omos. I would be shocked if they didn't give AJ Styles and Omos the titles here. Um, they obviously see something in Omos, and for him to make his debut at WrestleMania, I think would be imperative. And they've always treated him very protectively. So I think this is an easy one. This is AJ and Omos becoming new Raw Tag Team Champions. The SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line as the Royal Rumble winner Bianca Belair takes on Sasha Banks. Now, I think this is going to be Bianca's time. I think this is probably the right way to go. We're going to put the title on Bianca. I think this is the way to go. But I could also see them also keeping the title on Sasha Banks. I really could. Having Bianca Belair, first time winning up the championship, not be they could try to tell the story of hey, there was she just wasn't on the boss's level, and have them come back next year where she would definitely be on the boss's level, and she would obviously beat her. She would chase the championship for a year, and maybe Sasha would lose it to somebody else and then regain it back before the match next year at WrestleMania. But even though I can see that happening, I am going with Bianca Belair to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. For weeks, they've been saying it's been Bad Bunny and The Miz, and that's I guess was because of injuries to Morrison and Damian Priest. They have been cleared of those small injuries, and they have made it the reported tag team match. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. And we really need to get, for us Miz fans, the ones who like The Miz, we really need to get The Miz out of this goofiness and everything like that, and get him back to being some sort of diabolical schemer and something like that. We need this the goofiness and him doing the hey hey and hop hop and all this other stuff. While mildly entertaining and everything like that, when it's caused people to not be a fan of him. It causes people not to be you know you know to basically almost hate on the Miz for even being around. So and the Miz deserves more respect than that. So I'm hoping that Bad Bunny and Damian Priest wins, and I'm hoping that John Morrison takes the fall, and that causes or Morrison somehow mistakenly inadvertently hits Miz, and that causes Bad Bunny and Damian Priest to get the victory over the Miz. One of those things happens so that the Miz can get away and he can become a more just a more psychopathic heel than he needs to be, a better heel, because he should have had one last run with the WWE title. Because listen, I don't know if they are going to do it, but they should unify the championships, and it would have been good to have him hold it for a few months. So I want them to get back to that place where he could hold it for a few months. So, yeah, but the winners I'm predicting are Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. There have been 3 Hell in a Cell matches at WrestleMania. The Boss Man versus The Undertaker. The Undertaker versus Triple H, and The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. There's only been one steel cage match. Hogan versus Bundy. Until now, it's Braun Strowman takes on Shane McMahon inside a steel cage. Now, the way they're doing this, obviously it seems like the way they're going about this, they are going about this in a way where Braun Strowman, um, would like literally pound Shane McMahon into grind him into dust, right? But if you remember, there was a steel cage match between Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens where Braun Strowman threw Kevin Owens off of the cage, you know, and he actually won the match because his feet hit the floor. So I'm wondering, would they do that? Would they have Braun Strowman? Would they have throw Shane McMahon off of the cage onto one of the announce tables where Shane McMahon would win? So that's the only thing about here, because for me this all states Braun Strowman. This should be Braun Strowman victory, right? Choo choo. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say Braun Strowman. I'm gonna go chalk, but don't be surprised if that's what I said happens and Braun Strowman throws Shane McMahon off the cage and onto one of the announce tables, and Shane McMahon wins that way. The match that some people are saying can steal the show of both nights of WrestleMania: Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. This is going to be some. I think this is going to be a good match. I think this is going to be an incredible fight. We know what these guys can do when they're in tag teams. When Rollins and Ambrose were together, and Sheamus was with Cesaro for the bar, they had some pretty good matches then. So yeah, I could see where these two could come out and have some fun. The only thing is just that you know are they going to give this time? Because there are 7 matches of night one, and obviously 7 matches on night two. So there are 7 matches on each one, and so and the thing is, are they going to try to stick to the 3-hour range? Are they going to stick to it at the 3-hour range? And so are they going to give this time? Or they're going to go over? Because if they're going to go over, I'm down with it. And you give this some time because the championship match is going to have some time. So you see, but who cares? But we're not here to talk about is it going to be a legendary match or not. We're here talking about is it going who's going to win. I see you're going both ways, but I'm going to go with the man Cesaro. They've been building him up pretty good for like the last several months. So let's keep this on the road, because if things go the way I think they're gonna go, I think Cesaro is a perfect candidate to be put into the title picture. So I'm saying Cesaro has to get this win. And finally, from night one, the main event, I'm guessing, I don't think it's Sasha and Bailey, but Sasha and Bianca. It should be Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship match. Bobby Lashley comes in as the champion, and the Hurt Business is gone. There's a big fan theory that, that the reason why the Hurt Business broke up was due to the fact that the Hurt Business had to be outside, Sheldon and Cedric were barred from ringside. The Hurt Business was barred from ringside during the match between Bobby and Drew McIntyre. So they got fired so that they could be at ringside, and then they'll help Bobby win over Drew McIntyre. And I would say that could be something, but I also think that there is this thing that they wanted to give Drew McIntyre his thing in front of fans and everything like that. They really wanted that. They really wanted to push that. Really wanted to have him be a part of that. So I actually do think that that's the way they're going to go. Especially once again with my prediction, we'll have it on night 2. You probably need to send the crowd home happy at least once. So I'm going to say that, and also this also could be an interesting thing as well. If Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks are the main event, and like Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, let's say they would go on first, or they would go on before then you could possibly see Bobby Lashley retaining the title, just because they want to send the fans home happy. So yeah, but my prediction was that Drew McIntyre will become the 3-time WWE Heavyweight Champion. So let's go now to night 2. With night 2 being another 7-match card. We'll start off with the Women's Tag Team Championship match, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler taking on the winners of the night 1 Tag Team Turmoil match. Now, this kind of happened with NXT TakeOver. And what I did was I selected the winners of the gauntlet elimination match. And then I also selected the match, and I also like changed it. I'm not doing that with this one. This one we're just gonna say, is it either Nia Jax or Shayna Baszler, or is it the winners of the night 1 turmoil match? So yeah, I'm not gonna sit up here and like I picked not Natalya and Tamina, and if it ends up being can't really call them Deuce and Domino. If it ends up being being Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, um, then it does end up being that. So and that's what it is. I'm not gonna sit up and change the thing again. So, but this one's pretty easy. This one really has to be Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. They really need to be doing something different with Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler needs to be probably a bigger fish in the women's championship picture. Um, and Nia Jax, or if Shayna Baszler is going to be a part of the tag team, she's got 2 of her horsemen buddies, which they're not doing nothing with. They're just letting them sit on the side with. It's almost as if they're waiting for. They split them on the side, and they're waiting for for Ronda Rousey to return, and then they're gonna have then that's when they're gonna use them. And even though there's been rumors this week about Ronda's return, you can't bet on that. You really just can't. So anyway, the winners of the turmoil match are the ones I'm choosing to become the new women's tag team champions. Next, Sami Zayn takes on Kevin Owens. These two have had matches in the past. The matches all over the place. And we know what these two can do. Logan Paul is going to be somehow a part of this as well. So, who knows? I don't think Kevin Owens is going to get the opportunity to jump off a ship in this match, but I think he'll have the opportunity to stun a YouTube celebrity. I think that will probably happen. I'm going to say that Sami Zayn he's not winning anything in a long time. It would be like them he would win this one. He would win his WrestleMania match, but I see him not winning this again. I think they're going to give it to Big Kevin Owens here. Kevin Owens gets a victory and he stuns Logan Paul. The United States Championship is on the line. It's Matt Riddle takes on Sheamus. Now this was supposed to be Keith Lee, but Keith Lee went down with an injury. So this one is really a toss-up. Matt Riddle wasn't supposed to be the champion. Sheamus has done good work to put the title on Sheamus. Or do you leave it on Matt Riddle and then when Keith Lee comes back, and maybe he'll be back soon, maybe even be back tonight after Raw, and then you put the title on Keith Lee. I don't know. I'm not sure. Um, I think this is a toss up. I'm gonna say Sheamus just because I think he's done really good work and I think he should be rewarded with something. And that's the United States Championship. Then the Continental Championship is on the line as Big E takes on Apollo Crews in what they're calling a Nigerian drum match. Who knows what this is and who knows what this is going to be about. But again, almost like with Sheamus, Apollo Crews has done great work since his heel turn, and I'm loving it. Um, and I think even though Big D has done nothing to be a part of it, I think they can. I think they can do this match and then maybe get one more match out of Apollo and Big E. Give Big E his rematch. He should earn his rematch. But yeah, but I'm gonna say Apollo Crews becomes your new Intercontinental champion on championship. The Raw Women's Championship is on the line as Asuka, champion, taking on Rhea Ripley. Now there is still any time for Charlotte Flair to jump her butt into this into this championship match, and rightfully so. Um, she was supposed to be in this match, but if a false pregnancy diagnosis by the WWE doctor took her out of this match, and now she's just been off the card. Example, you know, some people wrongfully thinks that she was unwillingly added to the match at WrestleMania 35. When that's the exact opposite. Becky Lynch was wrongfully added to that match. Um, and here I think it makes sense to have her join into this match. And even Rhea Ripley was like, I was sure Charlotte Flair was going to be added in. Now, who knows? Maybe Charlotte Flair is throwing his fit because of Andrade and his, him being released and not used properly or whatever. But I would not be surprised as if Sunday night comes and it is a triple threat match. I would not be surprised. That being said, it's right now a singles match, and I have to choose it. And I think I think Asuka's had a great run. I think she won it back in September. Maybe she won it either at SummerSlam or a little after SummerSlam. Or no, I think she won it during the. I think she actually won it in July. I think she won it before the Thunderdome happened. Yeah, she won it before the Thunderdome happened. So. Um, Because Sasha Banks was the Raw Women's Championship there for a while, and then Asuka won it back. So, um, so yeah, I think the winner will be Rhea Ripley. I think she will be the new Raw Women's Champion, and she's going to be a big star, big star. Oh boy, the Fiend versus Randy Orton. I am so happy that this is not going to be a cinematic match. It's and thank God it's in front of a lot of people. If this was not in front of a lot of people, this probably would be a cinematic match. This would be a Firefly Funhouse match, and it's just garbage. And that's not the way to do this. There was no way it was ever going to be a Firefly Funhouse match. It just wasn't. Um, with that having been said, um, I'm just so over the Fiend and all his antics and like what they're doing with Alexa Bliss and everything like that. And there's a part of me that says that this is going to keep on going between the Fiend and Alexa Bliss, and there's really no end in sight with this. I'm not sure, dude. I'm not sure how they're gonna do this. I mean, they burnt the Fiend alive, and then the Fiend comes back. So how's this? How the fuck does this make any sense? Um. So yeah, it's just worth it. I really, I was hoping that maybe burning of the Fiend was the way to, get rid of the Fiend forever. I was hoping that they would go that direction. They didn't. So I'm going to say that the Fiend is going to win because the Fiend has got his revenge over. He got his revenge over John Cena. He got his revenge over Randy Orton. So from Bray Wyatt losing both times to John Cena and Randy Orton respectively in their you know in their respective matches. So, but I'm going to say that the Fiend will win and get his revenge, and I don't know where else we're gonna go with this, but I'm so sick of it. Boo the Fiend, boo the Fiend, get rid of the Fiend. All right, guys. So breaking news, just into as I was just checking Twitter. Um, it looks like the night one main event will be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. Which I gotta say, I think it's a total bad decision. Total bad decision. Um, the, these this reeks of it being we're gonna give them the main event because it's two black women instead of it giving the main event for somebody who has earned it. Like Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley has earned the main event. The work he has put in over the last 6-7 months has been incredible. And Drew McIntyre has been, he's been putting in work obviously the last year. And these two deserve to be the main event. And and the fact that they're giving it to Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, again, like I said, it reeks of. I guess his term is virtue signaling. It reeks of, hey, it's the first time ever where we got you know we got a black person versus a black person in a one-on-one match for a championship. So on wrestling at WrestleMania, because obviously we've had The Rock and Booker T, and I think we've also had Bobby Lashley and Booker T in points and times as well. So, but yeah, so we have Mark Henry as well. So there's a lot of them, but you know what I mean. But this is the first time it's gonna be at WrestleMania, and then we got and then not only is there two black, but now we have two black females, right? And it's just and it's such disgusting, what they're doing with this, because these two women, they haven't earned it. They have not. They have not earned to go on last. They really haven't, and and that's unfortunate. And I know some people are saying that this feud isn't what it should be because WWE hasn't wanted it to make it. They haven't made it of like a main event feud. But uh, while I would say that's a little bit of that, maybe I also think that this is once again the fans, because this is the fans, them not wanting to upset the fans. The fans started a dumbass hashtag of Banks and Belair main event, and that was that might have been trending on Twitter a few Fridays ago, and it's so they see that, and so yeah, and it's all good. What would have been good is that if it was actually, and let's not just forget the fact that we're doing also 2 nights. So we're doing 2 nights. So with this main event, if the WrestleMania was one night, with this main event, no, yeah, it's not main event. It's not going over. It's not going over. Things. So it's a lot of things that bother me about this. There's a lot of things that just kind of sickens me about this. Um, and let me also say this, and none of it is towards the two women who are going to go out there and put on probably in the match of each other's lives, or at least try to. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks have nothing, and there should be nothing involved with this. If people are like me and they're upset at this, that you shouldn't, you shouldn't put your disappointment or your hatred or whatever. They're definitely your hatred. They don't deserve this. You shouldn't put that on them. It's not them. This is the fans, and this is WWE virtue signaling and everything like that. And it's a bad decision. So that being said, we're at the main event of night two. I'm guessing it's the main event. I'm guessing this won't be now the Fiend and Randy Orton the main event, or someone else. Sheamus, Matt Riddle, main event in night two. I'm guessing the main event in night two will be for the Universal Championship between Roman Reigns, Edge, the men's Royal Rumble winner. I'm so flustered. And Daniel Bryan, who has sneaked his way into this match and for making it a triple threat. And yeah, and this was incredible. And this is how you would want it to go, right? Not in WrestleMania 30 where Dan Bryan's work isn't the reason why he got put into the you know bitching and moaning, and the same thing why Becky Lynch shouldn't have been added to the match, but but the fans bitching and moaning that Becky Lynch wasn't going to headline it. So this is the way you do it naturally. And Daniel Bryan and his work impressed Vince McMahon so much that they decided to add him to the match, and I think that's good, and that's how it should be. Should be your work you're doing in the ring is what should cause you to get the main event match. I mean, and going back to what we just talked about with Drew McIntyre and Lashley have done that work, and Sasha and Bianca really haven't. But I'm so disappointed. It really is. It's anyway. A lot of ways you can go with this match, right? You can see Edge coming back, 20 years, becoming a champion. You get Daniel Bryan. Could he? He's talked about retiring soon. Could this be his one last ride with the championship? And then there's Roman Reigns, who right now is the best character in professional wrestling out, right now, point blank period in the discussion. And I said this, and I continue to say this. Especially while you have two titles, and I'll say this again, they shouldn't. There should be one heavyweight champion, but there's neither here nor there. Roman Reigns does not need to lose their championship. He doesn't. He doesn't right now. You can continue, and that's why you do shake-ups and all those other things. You can find challenges. Right, and that's why I talked about Cesaro. Cesaro, I think, should beat Seth Rollins, so that he can be the next challenger for Roman Reigns. And then you've got Big E, who can be a challenger, for Roman Reigns. And then I think you can maybe even come back. You can even come back to Daniel Bryan. Maybe you can. There's so many others there. You get the Mysterios. You get so many folks that are there in the rings, and you can even turn Seth Rollins a babyface. And I was reading an article about Seth Rollins, so that has to be inevitable. I don't see why not Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns shouldn't be the main event of next year's WrestleMania. So to me, I'm probably going against logic here, but I'm saying it. I think Roman Reigns is going to win, and he's going to end night 2 holding up the Universal Championship, and uh, that's the way it should be. I'm not sure if that will happen, but this is one of the ones where I'm going with my heart instead of my head. So I'm going to say Roman Reigns wins. So the recap for night 1. Natalya and Tamina wins the tag team turmoil match. AJ and Omos becomes the new Raw tag team champions. Bianca Belair, now in the main event, wins the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest beat The Miz and Morrison. Braun Strowman beats Shane McMahon. Cesaro takes out Seth Rollins. And Drew McIntyre regains the WWE Championship against Bobby Lashley. However, now with this new thing, there is now much more thing about Bobby Lashley actually retaining. It could happen much more. Yeah, and it's probably more the favorite now. I would think of Bobby Lashley retaining, since now they're not going to be going on last. So, but I'm sticking with Drew just in case. Night 2. The winners of the night 1 tag team turmoil match. Like I said, I'm not going to change it. I selected Natalya and Tamina. If it comes out to be Lana and Naomi, it's just Lana and Naomi, whatever. I'll be wrong for night 1, but night 2, I'm just saying that the winners of the night 1 turmoil match will win. Kevin Owens will beat Sami Zayn. Sheamus will be the new United States champion. Apollo Crews will be the new Continental champion. Rhea Ripley will be the new Raw Women's Champion. The Fiend will defeat Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns will retain the Universal Championship. Wow. How about that? Should be a fun weekend. Make sure that you guys click the notification bell, because after both night 1 and night 2, I will be doing my rapid reaction to both nights and giving you my details on what I thought about each match, star ratings, everything like that. So you're not gonna want to miss that as well. So make sure you click that notification bell, just so that you know when I do go live or when I put out a video, whether it be about World of Professional Wrestling or whether it be any other thing. So try not to laugh. A reaction video to the newest movie trailer. Or it's something talking about this, a video game review or anything. Just click that notification bell so that you know when I hit. And that's if you have subscribed. If you haven't, what are you doing? Subscribe. Like the video. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. 100 episodes of That's a Shoot. It's amazing. Once again, depending on what happens this week, next week, we may not have a That's a Shoot. But if we do, we will be here and we will be talking about what went on this past week in great detail. As always, y'all, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.